Welcome to another video in the Exploring Chinuch series. Today, I want to look with you at the word Chinuch and what we can learn from it. So the best place to start is where Rashi gives us a definition of Chinuch in Parshas Lech Lecha. It says that Avram gathered his chanichav, he armed his chanichim, the people he had been machanich, and he took them with him to go up north to recapture Lot, to get him back from the four kings, if you remember the story, the four kings and the five kings. So Rashi there says, you want to know what chanichav are? You want to know what chinuch is? Chinuch is using something or beginning to use something or a person in the way it's going to be used forever. So Chanukas HaMizbeach is when you begin using the Mizbeach in the manner which it's going to be used from here on out. To be mechanech a tool, that means to start using it now the way it's going to be used from here on out. Being mechanech a child means beginning to raise them now in the way they are going to need to be, the way they're going to be for the rest of their life, with a very long-term vision. Chinuch is starting something off on the path which it needs to continue on, which it will continue on, and on, and on, and on. And we even see that in the very famous pasuk on Chinuch in Mishlei. Shlomo HaMelech says, Chanoch lenar al pi darko, you should educate a child according to his way. Gam ki yazkin, even when he becomes a zaken, even when he becomes elderly, lo yasur mimana, he won't depart from that way. And the question that I find in that pasuk is, why didn't Shlomo HaMelech just say, educate a child according to his way, gam ki yigdal, even when he becomes an adult, even when he grows up, even when he becomes an ish, a gever? He could have said it lots of ways. He won't depart from it. It's a little incongruous. We're talking about chinuch of a na'ar, and you're going to use the word zaken in the very same phrase. What does an old man or an old woman have to do with chinuch of a young child? And the answer is precisely, this is the point. When we are mechanech our children, we are not doing it for today's sake. We're not even doing it for the sake of just getting them to be 18 or 21 or whatever the grown-up version is. We're doing it to help them become the people they are going to be for the rest of their life, all the way through to old age. The chinuch of a parent has as its vision, as its goal, as its endpoint, Yazkin, he should be an old person, still true to his path, still on this path that I am starting him off on. That is chinuch. Chinuch is very, very long-term. Short-term parenting, that's called management. Sometimes it's just coping. And we all have days and we all have moments when we are just coping. But that's not chinuch. And we must never confuse coping with chinuch. Chinuch is having the very long picture in mind, thinking all the way through, what do I need this child to learn? What qualities do they need to gain to be a person who can be healthy and strong and true to the end of their life? And so, for example, chinuch would be, instead of taking a bored child and turning on a screen for them, a device for them to watch, sitting with them, and letting them play, having rich toys around, having crafts around, having puzzles, having things that stimulate the imagination, helping children learn to be comfortable with boredom, learning to discover what riches lie within them from being bored, and then coming up with ideas of what to do. Those are qualities that you're going to have, the child's going to need throughout his whole life. You can have a child who keeps coming out of bed at the end of the night, and you just want him to stay in bed, and you can treat it with chinuch, or you can treat it as coping. You can think, what is the goal? What do I want for this child right now? Do I want him to learn self-soothing techniques? Do I want him to learn that he can handle the discomfort of being awake in bed and not falling asleep when he wishes he did? Do you want him to learn something else? Whatever it is, the big picture is going to help you be mechanech. And it's going to be inevitably with much more calmness, much more serenity, much more clarity than the short-term quick reacting.